study abroad? Number one, of course, it's your international passport. This should be the first thing you have because you're going nowhere without your international passport. Academic transcript. Whether you're applying for undergraduate or postgraduate degree, you need your transcript, whether as a university graduate or an HND holder. And my advice is to apply for this early enough because most Nigerian universities, you have to do this before you get your transcript, which is quite sad because for most universities abroad, you can literally go online and download your transcript. So I don't know why it is so frustrating to get your transcript in Nigeria. It is, I don't know. And what you usually get is an unofficial transcript, which in Nigeria means a transcript sent to the student directly via email or by post. While the official transcript is the one that your university in Nigeria sends to the university you're applying to abroad directly. And if you can, I always recommend to get the unofficial transcript, or if there's a way you can get the official transcript sent directly to you, it is always best because if you need to apply to more than one university, for example, maybe 5-10 universities, you will need to send them transcripts. And so you want to be sending them the transcript yourself instead of having your university in Nigeria to send them the transcript themselves, which could be frustrating and most times you need to pay a ton of money for them to send your transcript to those different universities. So if you can, have your transcript in your hand and apply to universities by yourself. The third thing you'll need if you're applying abroad is your university certificate. So that could be your undergrad or whether you're an HND or OND graduate. Number 4, recommendation letters. These are letters from your university lecturers which attest to your academic prowess and your character. And my advice is to request a to whom it may concern recommendation letter in advance, which is like a generic recommendation letter, and it could be submitted to more than one universities in case you are making multiple applications to different universities. So you don't need to be requesting for different recommendation letters from your lecturer. Of course, some schools will request a more personalized recommendation, but having a generic recommendation letter makes it quite easy. Now, the 5th document you need when you're applying to study abroad is your English proficiency certificate. This could be IELTS, TOEFL, or simply your WAEC certificate. Although many universities in the UK hardly request for English proficiency because Nigeria, for example, is an English-speaking country, so I don't see why they would request for IELTS or English proficiency. But other universities request for it. Universities in the US, Canada, and even some in the UK. So you need to have that. Alternatively, you can prove your English language proficiency with the CEP or WAEC certificate if you're Nigerian. So the CEP is a letter from your undergraduate university stating that you were taught and assessed entirely in English language. And then your WAEC certificate also shows that you passed English. Statement of purpose. This is one of the most important documents you need when you're applying to study abroad. This is where you get the chance to tell the university why they should consider you and admit you into their university, why you chose the university, why you chose the course that you are applying for, your academic background, your work experiences, and how you will contribute to the university and your future plans after graduating. So I will recommend that you put a lot of effort when writing your SOP. Also, if you need help with putting some final touches to your SOP, slide into my DM and send me the word SOP. I also shared some details on how to write an SOP on episode 2 of my podcast, the International Student Podcast. So check it out and I'm sure you'll find it useful. Academic CV. This is one of the things you also need. Is a CV that includes your academic background, your work experiences, and all the competencies that you have as a person. The university needs this to assess your competence and your experience in relation to the course that you're applying to study. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share. If you are a prospective international student, a current international student, graduate, or a migrant, do listen to my podcast. I share a lot of useful and insightful information that is specifically tailored to international students. So feel free to listen to it. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms. If you have any questions, leave a comment, or you can also follow us on Instagram at TIS Podcast.